What's up, everybody? I know on the previous episode of Anthony KT Wrestling, I said that was the last one for 2024. But after what was the final episode of Monday Night Raw for 2024 and on USA Network, I had to get on here. And recap it. Recap the last Raw of 2024 on USA Network. It was a fast-paced, non-stop 2 hours, hopefully final 2 hours of Raw, as we hope to get, and it looks like we'll get 3 hours of Raw starting next week. But let's get into it. The final episode of Monday Night Raw for 2024 and on USA Network kicked off with the New Day. New Day gets into the ring. They try to get in a few words, and the crowd wouldn't let them. The boos were deafening, as they would not allow the New Day to get a single word in. Just like Dominic Mysterio can't get a few words in with the boos from the crowd, New Day couldn't get a couple of new words, couldn't get a full sentence in. And then here comes Jey Uso. Jey Uso gets in the ring. We all have our moment. We're all getting our yeet down, and Jey Uso makes it simple and just says, "New Day sucks," and that's it. That's it for New Day. As New Day leaves the ring, and has that look on Jey Uso like they ain't done with him. Here comes Drew McIntyre out of nowhere, and goes right after Jey Uso. But before Drew McIntyre comes out, Jey Uso is focused on the Titantron, as he looks and sees that Solo Sikoa says that in his match against Roman Reigns next Monday, he will beat Roman Reigns and he will forever be the tribal chief. And as Jey is distracted and is listening to what his brother Solo is saying, here comes Drew McIntyre into the ring, goes after Jey Uso, and they go at it. They're going back and forth at each other. Here comes producers and security and refs, all trying to keep them separated. Drew McIntyre has his hands up, heads back to Gorilla, but before he gets to Gorilla, he does just a switch move, and he heads back into the ring and lays Jey out with a Claymore. And we learn later on in that night that at the premiere episode of Monday Night Raw on Netflix next week, it will be Drew McIntyre versus Jey Uso. Awesome. Very awesome. Moving on to the next thing that happens. The first match of the night was Chad Gable versus Otis. And Chad Gable defeats, with an assist by Ivy Nile, defeats Otis in that match. And then we move on to the first of two semifinal matches, as it is as we get into those two semifinal matches, with heading into the finals, where the winners will go on to the Intercontinental Championship match. Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyria both advance in their semifinal matches, and in 2 weeks on Monday Night Raw will face each other to become, with one of them becoming the first Women's Intercontinental Championship. I am excited for this match. History. In 2 weeks, history will be made. In 2 weeks, we will have the first ever Women's Intercontinental champion, and I really want it to be Dakota Kai. If it's Lyra Valkyria, I am good with Lyra Valkyria being the first Women's Intercontinental champion. But it's got to be Dakota Kai. It's really got to be Dakota Kai. And then in a 6-man tag team match, Priest and the War Raiders defeat the Judgment Day. Um, Dominic Mysterio thought he had Damian Priest with the 619. He did not. After the match, Balor goes after Priest, really attacks the ankle, stomping on it, really putting pain to that ankle, until the War Raiders go after Balor and chase Balor out of the ring. But the damage at that point was already done. Priest's ankle is already in rough shape. So what comes next? Well, obviously what is going on between Balor and Priest is long from over, and a certain type of match, like I have to say, either a last man standing match or an Iron Man match would definitely be a way to settle it. You know, I think that would be the way to do it. You have an Iron Man match or you have a last man standing match. I feel like it's going to be more of a last man standing match, but Iron Man match would be cool too to see. But during Raw, during Raw, it was WWE made it official that Penta is coming to WWE, and all signs right now seem to be pointing to Raw on Netflix next week to be his debut spot. So here's hoping. And then Raw closes out with a face-off between Rollins and CM Punk. And words were said. It got personal. It got heated. And this match come next Monday is going to be fire. This is our main event. I am looking forward to this match. Long time coming. I'm excited for it. Before I go, couple of things I want to say before I go. First, I want to say that WWE had a sellout, their 44th TV sellout in 2024, and also for the last 32 years, Monday Night Raw has been on cable television. Be it on USA Network for a spell, and then on TNN, which then turned into Spike TV for a spell to come back to USA Network. This last episode on Monday Night Raw on cable television was history in the making, because we all got to witness the end of an era, and that era was Raw on cable television. That era is officially over. Moving forward, a new era in WWE begins this Friday when SmackDown on USA Network goes from 2 to 3 hours. Moving forward, SmackDown is now a 3-hour show, and that era begins this Friday. This new era in WWE continues on January 6th, a week from today, on Monday, when Raw makes its long-awaited debut on Netflix. A new era in WWE begins January 3rd and continues on January 6th. 2025 in WWE is going to be an exciting year. So many things to look forward to as a wrestling fan, and I'm ready to go into 2025. Personally, for me, I'm going into 2025 with hope and optimism about a lot of things, but keeping it on wrestling, I am ecstatic. Also, I want to say that moving forward, I'm thinking about change. I've thought about it, and moving forward, I'm going to be changing the name of Anthony KT Wrestling. So beginning in 2025, with the next episode I do of Anthony KT Wrestling, it will no longer be called Anthony KT Wrestling. Moving forward, I'm going to be calling it Wrestling with Rumors, where I lean more towards on focusing on and reading the rumors, letting you all know what is going on in the world of wrestling, in WWE, a little bit in AEW, a little bit in TNA or whatever, when it comes to rumors. Let y'all know what that's let y'all know what is being said on the wrestling streets, and also keeping to what Anthony KT Wrestling is still about, is about talking to all of you about the thing I love the most, which is wrestling, mostly WWE, but wrestling altogether. And I'm going to continue that. So moving forward, Anthony KT Wrestling will now be called Wrestling with Rumors, which is the segment that I had on my show. But I like that name so much, I'm just going to make it the full name in general. But that'll do it for this unexpected episode of Anthony KT Wrestling. That'll do it for Monday Night Raw on USA Network. I will see y'all back here next week with a new episode of Wrestling with Rumors, and excited for a new era in WWE. So in the meantime, in between time, take care of yourselves. Happy New Year. Peace, y'all.